Hey guys, Happy New Year! I am down on the allotment and it being the first week of January, there is not much going on. So I thought it was a good time to look back on 3 things that I planted for the first time this year that have earned themselves a permanent spot on my allotment garden. For anyone who doesn't know, my name is Peggy and I am growing a cut flower garden here on my allotment in Kanagawa Prefecture, Japan, which is just south of Tokyo in USDA Zone 9B. Thanks for checking out my channel. Okay, last year I planted quite a lot of new things in my garden and I do like to keep it as an experiment. I like to try new things every year and see what I like and what does well in the quite challenging climate that I have here. But this year I planted 3 things that I didn't expect very much of, and they completely blew it out the water. They were such good producers and they lasted so long. They were so good in the vase that I will never not have them in the garden again. And the surprising thing is they're not very showy flowers. They are fillers and they just supported everything else so well that they brought the whole arrangement together. So while they weren't the big dinner plate dahlia or my really nice rudbeckia or the great kind of sword looking gladiola that I absolutely love in the garden, I couldn't have had displays in my genkan all through the year without these flowers. So what were they? So I'm going to start off with this, which doesn't look like very much right now, but in the spring this was one of the first things to come up, and it is a filler. It is Sweet William. I actually did a little bit of a video on this before because I loved this so much. I have seen people grow Sweet William. I have seen people, other flower farmers and florists talking about how much they love Sweet William, and it was always just a bit of a meh plant for me. It wasn't overly exciting. It wasn't anything that really struck me as, oh, I definitely want to grow that. But when I put this in and it started to bloom, it just blew me away. It was like a giant candy floss. This stuff gets massive. And I only have about 6 plants in here. And it did me from the very beginning of spring right into midsummer. This stuff was still producing. And it gave me so many different colours. It gave me a baby pink, not my bag, but I was using it a lot. It gave me a really strong pink. I had a white and I had a kind of white with a purple centre to it. And I just absolutely loved them. And I actually went out and bought some more and I tried to start them as seeds. This might be one that has survived. I'm not sure if I put them in too early, but this is a really dark one, a dark purple. And I really hope that this is going to come up, because this with my dark purple ranunculus and my dark almost black tulip and gladiola that I have, I think will look absolutely amazing. So I'm really hoping that this one little guy that survived here is going to come up this spring and give me more. But the Sweet William was amazing. Not only did it last in the garden for a really long time, it gave me a real big mix of colour, but also it lasted so well in the vase. This stuff just kept going and kept going and kept going, to the point where when I was emptying out the vases to change my flowers, I was throwing away all the other flowers and using this for a second, sometimes 3 weeks in a row, although I had masses of it, so I didn't really need to do that. But this stuff, total winner. And it comes up at a kind of weird time. It did come up quite early in the spring for me, but it comes up in that kind of gap, or it was there in that gap between the spring flowers and the summer flowers, and it really fills out an arrangement. And some of my arrangements were almost all Sweet William because I didn't have very many focal flowers at that time, which is something I need to work on, trying to figure out what I can get to fill that kind of end of May, beginning of June weird gap in the garden. But this, love it. It's definitely staying. And the best thing is, it's a perennial, so I don't even need to go out and plant it again. It's just going to keep coming. I'm just hoping it's going to come as strong next year. This stuff was actually in my old allotment. I planted it up and it did nothing for about 1.5 years. It did nothing. It sat like this. And then when I moved allotments, it wasn't dead, so I dug it up and I brought it with me and replanted it here, and it gave me such a good show this year. So it does take a little while to get itself established. Don't be disheartened if you plant it and it just sits in leaf and doesn't do very much. This is me coming into the 3rd year of it, so I'm really hoping usually the 3rd year is the big giver. So yeah, here's hoping to lots of candy floss flowers this spring. Next up is over here, and there's nothing to show you because it is all gone and has now been replanted with my delphinium here. But this was where I had purple shiso. And the best thing about it was I didn't plant it. Don't know where it came from. I did notice that it was growing in quite a few of the other gardens around the allotment and on the outsides of the allotment. So I'm guessing it's a pretty prolific self-seeder and thus could be seen as a weed. But it grew here and I absolutely loved it. So shiso is a Japanese herb. It is usually green. They use it in salads, and you will probably have most likely seen it in sushi. It's usually the leaf that sits under fresh sushi because it absorbs other smells really well. So they put the sushi on top of it so you don't get that fishy smell once the fish has been sitting out for a while. So it's really commonly used in Japanese gardens, and as you can see, all my allotment neighbours are growing food gardens. This is all cabbages, leek, daikon, that kind of stuff. And so a lot of these guys have shiso because they use it so much. And I'm guessing it just self-seeded into my garden, or whoever was on this plot before me was growing shiso here as well. But they didn't have the green shiso, it was purple shiso. And it was absolutely gorgeous. I loved it. Again, it came up early in spring and I started cutting from it when it was still really small, and it was just prolific. The more I cut, the more it gave me. And it kept coming and kept coming and kept coming right through till about the end of November, I think. I was still cutting my shiso. And it changed throughout the season. So in the spring, it was quite small leaves and they were a really deep purple colour. Then in the summertime they got to much bigger leaves, which were a bit harder to use, and they are incredibly long stems you get on them, but the bigger leaves were a bit harder to use. I was having to strip back a lot of the seeds and just use the end of the stems, which they could overshadow some of the smaller flowers that I had, but they were still a great filter. And then into the autumn time, they actually produced a small spike flower with teeny tiny little dark purple flowers on them that were also gorgeous. I absolutely loved them. The only downside to those was that they did drop seed and they did drop pollen, but not an excessive amount, just, you know, normal flower amount, I guess. But they did so well. And again, the stems were super long. I could have these in the vase with my gladiola and they would sit at the same height as the glads. And they lasted so well in the vase as well. Again, it was one of the ones where I was clearing out the rest of the flowers and leaving the structure of the foliage in place because it didn't need to be replaced. And it has a scent, but because it's a herb, it is a more herby scent. It's not a bad scent, it's not a sweet typical flower scent, but I really liked it. And like I said, it does absorb the scents from other flowers, so even though the water was turning a little bit, I did feel that you didn't get that as much when there was shiso in the vase. It seemed to be absorbing those other kind of change the water please smells that you sometimes get with your flowers. So I did absolutely love the shiso. I grew it next to my purple ornamental basil, which I was hoping would fill the same role of a dark foliage, and the basil didn't do very well here. I don't think it was in enough sun in this garden. It didn't do very well, and I found that it wilted quite quickly, and if it wilted between me picking it and getting it home and arranging with it, then I couldn't really revive it at all. If it didn't wilt, then it tended to last quite long. So I think it's just, it needs to be looked after, conditioned very quickly after picking. So I found it was a bit fussy, and although the purple basil smelled absolutely beautiful, it wasn't as long lasting, it wasn't as easy to use, and it wasn't as prolific as my shiso. So I will definitely not go back to the ornamental basil in this garden because it didn't seem to like it, and stick with the gorgeous dark purple shiso. Winner! And number 3 is this little beauty. Look at them! So I have seen these, they're just ornamental cabbages, and I have seen these in lots of New Year's arrangements over the last few years in Japan, and I thought, I have the space, like I say, the shiso died back, I have the space, I'm going to start some of these. And I started them from seed at home around October. I planted these guys out in November, and I had the first lot of them on my table for Christmas dinner. These guys grow so quickly, and the beautiful thing is you don't actually have to wait for them to get to full size. You can cut them when they're smaller and they look almost like a peony rose, and then as you leave them longer they get bigger. I had this type and I had the white type, and I just love them. They're kind of weird, they do look like a cabbage. I did have guests come round, and when I told them they were a cabbage they were genuinely shocked. but they last so long in the vase as well. I've had these on my table for over 2 weeks and you can't tell. They look exactly the same. I had two types of white. I had a kind of small white similar to this one, and then I had a slightly more frilly white one. And they all seem to last the same amount. The white ones do seem to get bigger than the purple ones that I have, but I think that is just a variety thing. I am now first week in January and I am cutting the last of these, but I don't have to. I'm only cutting it because that's as many as I planted. Next year I will be planting a lot more of these, and I will be planting more varieties of them because there's nothing left in my garden now. My ranunculus have started to come up. My chrysanthemum are still there and they have paired beautifully, my purple chrysanthemum with this kind of purple colour, and looked really nice over the Christmas period. But I think it's still going to be another good 6 to 8 weeks before I start picking any new flowers, any of my spring flowers out of this garden. So these guys have really done me right over the Christmas period, and they're so weird and yet so cute, and you get so many different varieties of them. So I'm really looking forward next year to leaving a bigger spot in the garden to have these guys in, because look at them. So that's it, the 3 flowers that have definitely earned a permanent spot in my garden, and they're all fillers. Except my cabbages, which are cabbages. What do we class cabbages as? Focal? I'm going to say they're a focal. So new for this season, I already have in some delphinium. I'm growing lisianthus for the first time. They are both from plugs, and I have a video coming up about that. I am carrying on with my long stem pansy experiment to try and see if I can get those even bigger. I'm hoping my honesty, this being the second year they're in, are going to give me a show this year so that I can get some of them for wreaths and stuff in the autumn, as well as using some of them fresh and not the silvery type. I'm hoping that I'm going to get some nice kind of dark purple discs on them as well to be using as a foliage as well. I think that's it. Oh, Clarkia. I have Clarkia for the first time as well. I have started that. It is in the garden, but it's not liking the frost. Our temperatures have really dropped this last couple of weeks and are only going to get colder, and the Clarkia isn't liking it. So I'm really hoping that that is going to survive. So those are my experiments for this coming year, and let's hope that they do as well as the 3 from last year. That is all from me. Let me know if you have grown anything new in your garden and what has been a success, and if there's anything you would recommend for me to get in the ground now in here if I can find the seed. I hope you guys all had a good holiday season and are enjoying the new year, and your garden is stocked and ready to go for spring. If you want to follow along with this and see how everyone does, and how the new flowers do, then please remember to hit the subscribe button below. If you want to see what I do with all my flowers, you can check out my Instagram, which is From the Witch's Garden, and there is a link to that below. And I will see you guys next week. Bye!